The worst anime in the history of animes that I have ever watched is called Rent-a-Girlfriend. Now, I know you probably hear that name and immediately think Academy Award-winning masterpiece, but the fact of the matter is, it is actually ass cheeks. The show is supremely ass cheeks. It's bad. In fact, this show was so ass that I had to watch it in 4 times speed. That's not even an over-exaggeration, man. Do you know how badly I needed to feel like blowing my brains out in order to watch a show in 4 times speed? The word bad doesn't even do it justice, man. Now, to be honest, I could go on forever about how much pain this show put me in, but I think it's probably best if we go through the why I'm in pain. So if you've never heard about Rent-a-Girlfriend before, first off, be grateful. But it's a story about some random incel named Kazia Kinoshita. I definitely butchered that, but I'm white. What do you want from me? This guy's a college student who gets dumped by his girlfriend, Mami Nanami. He can't get over her, so he decides to rent a girlfriend named Chizuru Mizuhara. I tried to throw an accent on there, all fancy and shit. I think I fucked it up still. Anyway, and the both of them find themselves in a situation where both of their grandmas see them together and think that they're dating. So in order to not disappoint their grandmas, they pretend like they're together for real. And then this lie goes even further when Kazia runs into his friends with Chizuru, and he tells them that they're together for real. To be honest, the first episode of this show is great. I mean, it actually felt like it was gonna go somewhere. You know, there's a story, an interesting story even, and the characters all have problems, and you know, it seems like it's gonna take an interesting turn. It's probably one of science's biggest questions on how this show and its concept got fumbled so fucking hard. I think that's honestly a mystery that the goddamn mystery gang couldn't solve. Because from episode 2, it just immediately goes downhill, and it makes me so fucking angry. I literally never get angry at anything, but I get so fucking pissed at this show, dude. Now, in order for you to understand how truly awful episode 2 and the rest of the show is, I need to introduce you to the first sin that this show has. Forced situations. Now, just hear me out here. The amount of times this show has a character do something that is so unnecessary, so random, so out of fucking nowhere, is asinine. And the only reason any of this random shit is done is for the plot. Oh my god, my voice cracked, dude. I fucking burst a blood vessel in my in my brain there. So the first time this happens is in episode 2 when Kazia is explaining to his grandma that he and Chizuru aren't together, so he lies and says they broke up. Now the reason he's doing this is because Chizuru herself, she said that they can't pretend to be in a real relationship anymore and the lie needs to end as soon as possible. So naturally, Kazia breaks the news to his grandma. He gets it over with, rips the band-aid off, and she's disappointed, but she kind of accepts it. Meanwhile, Chizuru is listening from her balcony. Did I mention their neighbors? I don't think I mentioned their neighbors, but it opens up a whole can of other worms, and like, how the fuck did they not recognize each other when they were on the first date if they're fucking neighbors? Anyway, Chizuru is listening to Kazia break the news to his grandmother. It's a real sad moment, and you know, after Kazia is done explaining to his grandma that they have just broken up, Chizuru decides to kick down the door and act like they're partners again. Even though it's literally been 5 fucking minutes after she said she wanted nothing to do with him. So why in the ever-living fuck did she decide that it'd be a good idea to come down, kick the door down FBI style, and pretend to be good partners again? It makes no fucking sense. The only reason this happens is because this show could have ended in episode 2. It could have ended in episode 1 even. But no, we wanted to go the full length of the way. We wanted to keep this shitstorm going. It's cloudy with a chance of stupid up in these parts. And to make this random save by Chizuru make even less sense, not even 10 minutes later in the same goddamn episode, she's complaining to Kazia again, telling them that they need to stop lying. And she's scolding him for it being all his fault. It just makes no fucking sense. Now to finish off this masterpiece of episode 2 that, you know, fucking God would be proud of creating, we are introduced to the most whiplash-inducing scenes I've ever seen in my entire life. So, Kazia's friends spot him and Chizuru walking down the street. They freak out and invite the two to hang out with a group of friends. They get there, and as it turns out, Kazia's ex is there. And what proceeds to happen is literally the dumbest fucking anime scene I think has ever existed on this entire goddamn planet. So to give context here, this is Kazia's ex, Mommy. I feel so weird calling a fucking college student Mommy. This is Chizuru, as we already know, who's a complete stranger to Mommy. And this is me watching this scene. What the fuck? What the fuck? Like, even from a writing standpoint, I don't understand why this is a scene in this entire show. Why did this need to happen? Is this to show that, like, Kazia is a bitch? Is this to show that mommy is an absolute cunt? I don't know. And nobody knows what's happening. I have fucking stage 4 whiplash from this scene. I don't fucking get it. So after all that, mommy starts acting nice to Kazia again. We don't get really an explanation why. And Kazia is just willingly down bad for her again. For some reason. Episode 3 starts off with a big old WHY, because Kazia is traveling to the beach. It's already time for a beach episode in this anime. That goes to show you how goddamn low we are scraping this barrel. And he's going to the beach with his friend group. And also, for some reason, his ex is there. Despite the most shake your head, you know, become a drug addict type beat scene happening in literally the last episode. Now, I can understand why Kazia is there. He wants to get back with mommy. At least that's what I've deciphered from this shitstorm of story here. But I don't understand why she's all of a sudden being nice to him. It's never touched on or explained at all. And I know for a story to go well, you're not supposed to explain shit. You're just supposed to show it. But this is just showing something without a context. It feels like all the parts of Rent a Girlfriend are in different, you know, spaces. And they just kind of threw them all together without connecting them, you know? If we were to go out on a limb here, we could say that maybe mommy loves the attention, or she wants, you know, Kazia to give her some attention back or something like that. Something that makes remote sense. But I honestly just think that's way overestimating what this show is capable of. So I'm just gonna chalk it down to the reasoning of just cuz. Honestly, not much happens this episode. The lie continues. Mommy kisses Kazia for some reason, even though it's been made clear that she fucking despises him. So let's move on to episode 4. Now, I think it's time I introduce you to the second sin that this show has. Where the hell is the plot? Remember when I said this show likes to have its characters do unnecessary things because it just progresses the plot? Well, that was a fucking lie, because there is no plot. This show is absolutely directionless and only moves in circles. I'm pretty sure you would have more direction if you put a bunch of blind people in a room and yelled, "He's got a gun." So in episode 4, the two of them come clean and break up in front of their friend group. You know, their friend group's like, "What the fuck happened?" They're all kind of distraught. So Kazia's friend, being the absolute Chad that he is, he gives them both ferry tickets and asks Chisu to give him another shot. For some reason, they both decide to go on the ferry, even though there is literally no reason to do so. It's not like their friend is gonna spy on them and make sure that they went on the ferry. He just asked nicely. They don't have to. They literally don't have to. They can just go home. This show can be over. My pain can be over. I can go blow my brains out in my backyard. Life is good again. But no, they decide to go on the ferry. Life is pain. This hell just keeps going. And the episode ends with Chisu getting seasick and backflipping over the boat's side rails. And of course, our hero, Kazia, goes to save her. Now this episode starts with some biblical shit. Chisu immediately ruining all the work they put in to break up last episode by calling herself Kazia's girlfriend in front of everybody again! Fucking again! What is wrong with you, you dumb bitch? So basically, the two of them almost drowned for nothing. I mean, the two of them were given those tickets in the first place because the people thought they were breaking up. Their friend group thought they were breaking up. So they were given those tickets in order to reconcile and shit like that. If they didn't announce that they were breaking up, they wouldn't have gotten those tickets in the first place. So it was all for nothing. Awesome. Now I could keep going episode by episode as to why this show is ass. I mean, for example, I could talk about how episode 8 happened, and it was literally just Kazia fucking stalking Chisu the entire 20 minutes. Like, yeah, everybody loves a good stalking in this world. Fist bump. Everybody loves a good stalking. Hell yeah, brother. But I think Kazia going on a stalking trip is the perfect segue I need to talk about the characters. Kazia. There is not enough negative words in the English language that I could use to describe Kazia. I mean, not only is he unlikable, he's absolutely insufferable too, man. Like, he has one personality trait, for fuck's sakes. I need a girlfriend. That's his personality. I swear to God, there's literally not a single ounce of screen time that I can even think of where Kazia is not thinking about, 1, I need to get a girlfriend, or he's thinking about 2, his girlfriend or girl of his dreams getting absolutely fucking railed. Now, typically, you're supposed to like a main character because they have a few redeeming qualities. But I think this is literally the only time I've seen a character have one quality and it's fucking insufferable. Another thing that Kazia does, which is kind of like a side thing, it's not hugely important, but it still fucking grinds my gears every fucking time. I'm losing my sanity. In what feels like every single episode, he'll do this thing when he's talking to Chisu, where she'll try and comfort him, and then he'll be like, I'm such a loser, huh? Or what I did was pretty lame there, right? And then after him and Chisu chat, Kazia's brain, working at half power, does the exact same shit over again. It's fucking infuriating. I'm gonna lose my voice by the end of this video. I swear to God, man. Like, I'm losing my shit here. Just probably do a title screen. I can't fucking pronounce her name. This bitch carries this entire goddamn franchise. I've never seen a carry like this. Not in Call of Duty, not in any sports ever. This is the hardest goddamn carry of all time. Now, the reason I say that is because I think Chisu is the only normal person on Rent-A-Girlfriend. I mean, sure, she has some absolute batshit brick for brain moments where she kicks down doors and, you know, continues to pretend that her and Kazia are relationship partners, but usually the thing she does has a reason and it makes sense. In fact, Chisu is the only goddamn personality on this show that doesn't revolve around being in a relationship, and it is so refreshing. I mean, come on, you know a show's characters are bad when one has a personality and it feels like finding water in a goddamn desert. But she wants to be an actress, which is why she's a Rent-A-Girlfriend, to practice her acting skills. Fucking finally, a reason for literally anything in this show. This is a goddamn blessing. I feel like I just got baptized, man. This is a good feeling. I honestly think that Chisu deserves to be in a better show because everything she does in this show just makes too much goddamn sense, you know? I think she should be in literally any other show. Mommy. Let's use that one. Alright, listen. I know Mommy's supposed to be the Antichrist of this show, right? Everybody's supposed to hate her. She's written that way. And believe me, I fucking hate this bitch. Again, I feel like a broken record. I'm just repeating myself. I'm eventually gonna have a heart attack from the amount of anger I have in my bloodstream right now. But as a character, she is so fucking brain dead. She makes Kazia look like a goddamn 400 IQ genius. So if you think about it from the audience standpoint, she was introduced as Kazia's ex to us. I mean, she's the one that broke his heart, and she's the reason the story happens in the first place. I gotta stop calling Rent-A-Girlfriend a story. It's literally anything but. Jesus fucking Christ. Anyway, even though Mommy is the one that broke up with Kazia, she's the reason this whole story is happening, she still feels the need to break up Kazia and his Rent-A-Girlfriend. Why? That's never touched on. Then all of a sudden she starts acting all friendly buddy-buddy with Kazia again. Why? Because fuck you. And then for the cherry on top, she kisses him. Why? Because you're adopted. Listen, I know this could be seen as Mommy trying to break the two of them up. I get that. That makes sense. But why does she even want to break them up in the first place? That part just makes no fucking sense. She doesn't like Kazia. That's revealed well enough in episode 1 and episode 12. So what's the point of it all? What's the point of this entire fucking show, man? I'm losing my voice here. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I don't have the mental capacity to talk about any more of the side characters. They are all equally as insufferable, and I don't even think if I wanted to, I don't think my voice could handle it. If I do, I might have a stroke. So we're gonna skip the side characters and talk about the little tiny itsy bitsy bit that the good of this show had. There are a total of 3 good moments in the entire Rent-A-Girlfriend show outside of the first episode. The first one comes in episode 9, when Chisu takes a guy named Shun on a date as a rental. Towards the end of the date, Shun asks Chisu this.
そうは言ってもないだろ。逆に本気になるなんて。
本気か。そうだね。どうかな。
Now, I thought this scene was fantastic and honestly didn't belong in a show like this. But in typical Rent-A-Girlfriend fashion, don't you worry, this all gets ruined not even 3 episodes later, and I'll explain why in a second. Now, another scene I really actually liked was when Mommy rented Chisu as a Rent-A-Girlfriend because she found out that she was what she was, a Rent-A-Girlfriend. I thought that shit was cold, man. Dude, it felt like I jumped into an ice bath. It was fucking sick. Again, really doesn't belong in this show here. You know, we have no in-between of like good scenes or bad scenes. There's nothing in between. It's either the worst shit you've ever seen or literally fucking fire. There's no in between. Now, the last moment that I really liked in this show is in episode 12, when Kazia admits to Chisu that she is the one he wants. I thought they were gonna have a sick kissing scene or something like that. Like, that would have made the show a million times better. Having an actual ending. That would be poggers, man. That was fucking cringe, but not as fucking cringe as this show. But then all of a sudden, 2 out of the 3 good moments I enjoyed of this show are ripped out of the hands of glory when Kazia corrects himself and says, just as a rental girlfriend. So the entire first season was for nothing. Literally nothing. We are in the exact same scenario that we started the season off at. And we are 12 episodes later. I'm gonna kill somebody. I'm going to go on a genocide. I also think it's worth mentioning that the creator of this show is a fucking weirdo. He obsesses over Chisu, the main character, more than even the hardest of degenerates would. Listen, I know Chisu carried your entire goddamn show, alright? But when you don't let even your own self-insert protagonist get with her, I think you've got issues, man. I rate this show 1 almond out of 16 walnuts.